What's your prediction for the game? Are you predicting an opening day victory for us?
I think I will. Yeah, I think I can't remember the last time we actually lost on an opening day. I don't know if you can remember when that was.
I had the statistic. We've got a good record. I think we've won. It's something crazy. It's like 12 of our last 15. It's something. We've got a good strong opening.
Yeah, we'll have to see though. As you say, pretty good record in opening games. I can't see us having too many problems really. Obviously, they've made a couple of good additions. Palace, obviously, Batshuayi's back through the door, and Eberici Eze, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's coming in. He's a good player. Obviously, did really well in the Championship. So, I think we'll do well enough. If you want a score prediction, I'll say 2-0 United.
That did not go to plan, did it? Hello guys, and welcome back to the JGI podcast. Now, as you can tell by the introduction today, I am recording this during the aftermath of Manchester United's 3-1 opening day defeat to Crystal Palace. Now, I don't have a guest with me here today, but on the back of such a disappointing result, I just kind of wanted to give my little thoughts on the current situation of the club and the way it's being run, and basically the big mess we're in this summer. Because let's be honest, as things stand, with Ed Woodward and the Glazers in charge, we are being set up for failure yet again. Now, everybody knows that ever since Sir Alex Ferguson retired from Manchester United, that the club has been run in such a chaotic manner. The man overseeing all this business, Ed Woodward. Now, ultimately, no foundations have been put in place for any manager to come in and succeed on. You look down the years from when Woodward's been in charge, and it all comes down to a lack of transfer planning and recruitment. From David Moyes being given Marwan Fellaini on deadline day to Louis van Gaal, where yes, big money signings were made, but ultimately they were just superstar figures that were trying to be shoehorned into an 11 instead of recruiting proper players that were going to accommodate to his possession-based style of football. To then Jose Mourinho, where when success was achieved in 2018, the board failed to show intent and back him and believe in his philosophy and try and elevate the quality of the starting 11 and take United back into challenging for the league. We finished second in 2018, and the board the following summer brought in Fred, who, look, is still here, but he was always going to be a player that needed a year to settle in. And Diego Dalot, an unproven 20-year-old from Porto, and that is the ultimate facts of the story. And yet again, we're seeing this summer a real reluctance for the board to go in and back Solskjaer. The start of last summer, there was no real expectation placed on Solskjaer's shoulders. He was given a job, and we all knew about all these years that have gone on, and given the context, nobody was predicting us to finish more higher than third last summer. So when we look back and we've finished third and we've got rid of some players, I think 5 senior names have permanently left now: Alexis Sanchez, Ashley Young, Antonio Valencia. Stagnating figures that didn't really have a future at the club, and instead we've brought through younger players like Greenwood and Brandon Williams. And on the recruitment side of things, Ed Woodward was actually removed from that process. Yes, he's involved in negotiations, but he doesn't have as much of a say in the types of players that we want to bring into the club. So when you look at the success rate in the market since last summer of Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Bruno Fernandes in January, Solskjaer knows what his 11 needs, because we've seen it for every single signing so far. Maybe the one exception is Daniel James, but look, he was brought in, given the context, as a squad outlet from the Championship. He's not expected to start every game, and which is why, again, Solskjaer is looking for a right winger this summer. I just feel like after a season of progression and gradual steps towards a rebuild, we find ourselves in a position where the board needs to step up, get the players through the door for the manager so we can take this project forward. We finish the season on a high. We won beaten, I believe it is our last 10. Got Champions League football, and we're playing some good stuff along the way. Solskjaer's vision is starting to come alive now. But just like any other football club in England or even Europe for that matter, investment is needed to elevate this team. We look at the starting 11 against Crystal Palace on Saturday, and starting is Fosu Mensah. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not fit enough, but there's no quality there in terms of depth in the fullbacks. You look on the wings, as I mentioned, Daniel James. He isn't Manchester United starting material as of yet. He's still got a lot to learn in his career. And you look across the park as well in the middle, obviously Pogba and Matic, yes, didn't have the best game. They started, but he's more at the back. And going into the summer, Solskjaer obviously wanted a centre-back and a left-back. He wants a better partner for Harry Maguire. Big to Lindelof at times when we're playing oppositions that like to play a bit of football and just have their strikers sit in with his back to goal. They're quite good against them kind of oppositions because there's not much nuisance going on. As soon as you get a player that likes to run in behind and attack the space in behind himself and the fullback, he really struggles. And we saw that again against Palace. It just seems to be one too many occasions for that. They were having so much joy down either flank, in fairness, but he was obviously identified as a weak link, and the opening goal, literally across coming across the 18-yard line, and not one United player has either prevented the ball coming in or stopped or cleared it when it has. Luke Shaw's marking was questionable at best. And ultimately, Saturday should have been the beginning start. It should have been the starting intent from United. Finish last season strongly, get 3 players through the door, get them gelled in, start the season off on a high, and beat a Palace side that could have been beaten on Saturday. It could have been. They've got good quality going forward, but we're good enough to beat them. Instead, we only got Van der Beek in. Again, we touched him on in the first episode, and he's a great signing. I'm a big fan of him, that kind of progressive midfielder. And look, a new signing comes on, 13 minutes later, he scores a goal. As I said, Solskjaer knows what this 11 needs. And I feel like if we just get a right winger and a left back or centre back, this team can not challenge for the league this season, but we can again take them progressive steps forward and get closer to that. Champions League football's in the bag. We've got 4 competitions this season, and looking at the squad right now, there's absolutely no chance that United are going to compete for a trophy as of today without 2 signings coming in. And that is the difference. And look, a summer in football is a long time. It is not just a case of 2 months. Not recruiting properly and not investing is going to put us back at least 12 months, maybe even 18. Liverpool have just won the league by, 19 points, and they brought through Thiago, one of the best midfielders in Europe, and Diego Jota, a player who's going to bolster their options nicely. Means they could compete across all fronts. City, we're expecting them to come on strongly again this season, but they've not really made an intense signing just yet, although you feel like they are going to with a centre-back. But, the likes of Nathan Ake, Ferran Torres, they offer depth to City, which is what they need. They've addressed issues in their 11. And, you look behind us with Chelsea, 200 million spent, they're going to get a new goalkeeper through the door. Arsenal are taking, steps forward. And if we don't invest this summer, there's every chance that they're going to creep up on us. So, as I said in the first episode, the only word that I think sums us all up at the moment is frustration. There's a real lack of belief in the board from the fans' point of view that they can get the job, they can get business done this summer and take us back where we need to be. Because after a whole year of progressive work from Solskjaer and trying to implant a new system in place and rejuvenate the dressing room, and right now it is a likeable squad at United, and I know that sounds so simplistic, but from having watched us down the years, it's so nice to say that. But as I say, every club needs investment. We're not going to challenge without it. And if we don't get these players through the door, we won't struggle to see us finishing top 4 from looking at the opening stage of the season. As I say, Saturday should have been the opening marker, got our new signings through the door and got the season off with a win. Instead, we're already 6 points behind Arsenal, 6 points behind Liverpool, 3 points now behind Chelsea. We're already starting off on a slow foot. And when we're talking about the level of competition that's been increasing recently, teams don't really drop more. You're talking about Liverpool last season, barely dropping any points. The same will happen with City again. Teams aren't going into the season expecting to lose 5-6 games. You're losing now 2-3 games a season to win the league. And that is the level of competition. And as of today, United aren't there. But if we get the signings through the door and showed some intent, we could be. But with Ed Woodward and the Glazers in charge, you do worry that that's just not going to be the case, because down the last 5-6 years, they've shown absolutely no intent of getting to that level. We've got 2 weeks left now of the transfer window, and I just severely worry that, every day I will start to lose hope over Jadon Sancho. I was really optimistic a couple of days ago, simply because we're staying in negotiations. But, you see a lot more of these rumours about Ivan Perisic, Douglas Costa, and you just simply can't put it past United doing that signing and not getting Sancho through the door. Again, with a left back, missed out on Sergio Reguilon. Talking about Alex Telles, great. But why have we waited until losing the first game of the season to seriously kick us into gear to go and make a signing like that? Alex Telles, it could have been signed before today. It could have been signed 2 weeks ago easily. Porto was a selling club. There's an asking price of about 20 million there. 20 million to identify a weak position in United's starting 11 should be no questions asked. But as again, instead of repeating myself, it's just frustrating. We can all see it online. It's just a lack of intent shown by the board at the minute to get us back to where we want to be. And I just kind of wanted to come out and share my views on it. Not really, it's obviously not been like a big rant, but just interested to hear your views as well. Obviously, next up tomorrow night is Luton. Fans online, rival fans are joking about us losing. I've already seen some of our fans comically say, well, not even comically, I think they're being serious when they, saying they're a bit worried about it. And look, if we do go in and don't get a good result, then the last person I'm going to be blaming is Solskjaer, to be honest. He's shown for me he's shown enough to be justified to be invested in this summer, and hasn't happened as of yet. So as I say, we've got 2 weeks left, but as of now, this is what's happening. This is our belief at the minute. We haven't really got any. And ultimately, it comes down to Ed Woodward and a lack of planning going into the transfer market. And end of the day, it's ourselves and Solskjaer that's going to pay for it. So, yeah, thanks for joining anyway. I think I've about covered every base. Been a bit critical, obviously, but thank you for joining again. Obviously, this was the second episode, no guest, but we do have one lined up for this week. So I'm going to announce him on Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday. We're going to see how the game goes on Tuesday. Sure, there'll be lots of talking points either way from it. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate the early support you've shown on this channel. And I forgot to mention at the start of the video, actually, United SK won the shirt giveaway. Announced that on Twitter, obviously announcing it now as well. We're going to do another one of them in a few weeks. So I'm going to keep the videos coming out. Let me know anything you want down below in terms of content or anything like that. And also on Twitter, I'll leave a link to my description in the description, sorry. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and hopefully see you after Tuesday. Hopefully we'll get a bit more of a positive result.